You're watching ESPN's Champ Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Good afternoon from Orlando, Florida, as the quarterfinals from the American Conference Tournament roll on. Our first game today had the #1 seed Temple Owls punching their ticket into the semifinals behind a great play of Jalen Bond. Came through with 17 points, 8 rebounds, added 4 steals, and 3 assists. That is quite a stat line in game 1 of the day. The UConn-Cincinnati rivalry goes back to the days of the Big East. Physical play, great defense, the ingredients in this matchup. No game in the series was more exciting than last season in the AAC tournament.
Boat right against Johnson. This is it. Picked up by Ellis. A 3. Good! And Ryan Boatwright sends the Huskies to Saturday.
Let's take a look at our bracket in the American Conference, part of Champ Week, presented by Dick's. As we told you, Temple plays its way into the semifinals. They will meet the winner of this game tomorrow. Houston and Tulane, Tulsa and Memphis in the night session. Good afternoon, everybody. Mike Patrick, Len Elmore. It's great to have you with us. To a lot of people, this may not be a play-in game for Cincinnati, but to those same folks, it is a play-in game for UConn.
Well, looking at UConn, again, if you believe perception can be greater than reality, then I would say, yeah, this is an elimination game for UConn. But the question is whether or not you reward UConn for playing a tough schedule. And when you take a look at their schedule, you recognize that this team played some pretty good teams. You know, they beat Michigan. They certainly played a tough schedule at Syracuse, playing Maryland. Obviously, they beat Texas, beat Michigan, and in conference, they beat SMU, split with them, and split with Tulsa. So this is a team that played a tough schedule. Do you reward them for that?
That's the Tournament Challenge resume. It's brought to you by Allstate. Here's the wild card in this game. Gary Clark, according to Coach Mick Cronin, severely sprained his ankle yesterday. And he's the defensive player of the year in the conference. And there's a lot of tape on that left ankle, Len.
Yeah, he was favoring it quite heavily during the layup line. But he's a trooper. The reason why he's starting right now is because he made a case to Mick Cronin to let him play, that he was capable of playing. And this is a young man, I think, deserved to be on the first team ballot of all conference. Nevertheless, defensive player of the year, second team. But he's their go-to guy, and they're a different team without him.
Octavius Ellis controls the opening tip. Copain, the point guard, brings it across to Farad Cobb, their best outside shooter. Loose ball. Hamilton couldn't convert, and the follow wouldn't go for Purvis.
Right now, you can expect both of these teams playing with a little anxiety right now, recognizing at least what's perceived to be on the line. Cincinnati, they might be more comfortable, but nevertheless, they can't be sure. And winning, obviously controls their destiny.
Copain, 5 to shoot, pull-up jumper. Good offensive rebound by Clark. Kicks it outside to Cobb, missed the 3. Oh, you can tell the intensity is going to be here for 40 minutes, can't you?
Absolutely. And, both of the coaches, certainly their feelings, they're intense players. It'll be reflected on their team.
Purvis slashes to the basket.
Strong move by Rodney Purvis, who for a long period of time relied a little bit too much in the half court on his three-point shot. That time left no doubt. He's here to play aggressively.
Tell you what, there is no space between offensive and defensive players for UConn. They are just in everybody's face. Kevin Ollie now in his 4th year, won the national championship 2 seasons ago. He won almost 70% of his games.
Winning a national championship in your 1st year or 2nd year, man, it's like, what do you do for an encore?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you get a big contract. So what you do for an encore, and he did. And Clark seems to be moving all right on the ankle on that possession.
Well, he made his case to Coach Cronin to let him play.
Kenton Facey has checked in. And if you're going to play this hard on defense, Len, you've got to use your bench. You can't expect guys to go 40 minutes at this pace.
Well, especially early. You get everybody a feel because you never know who you may have to count on, particularly down the stretch.
Kenton Facey is in for UConn.
Whoa.
Nolan.
Whoa.
He's already exceeded his season's average with that one. Nolan only averages 1.8 points a game. But
I like it. Everybody, all hands on deck. Got to play with no fear.
Nice drive by Cobb. Goes back to Ellis, and Ellis will draw a foul. Mick Cronin now in his 10th year has won 207 games at Cincinnati. 276 when you throw in where he started at Murray State.
When you take a look at the NCAA tournament appearances, 2 at Murray State, 5 at Cincinnati. And again, I think that the Bearcats can be relatively comfortable that they're going to be in the field, but you don't leave anything to chance. And Gary Clark now going off, gave it his best shot early. Now here's the problem. After you get warm like that, you sit down and it cools off. The swelling continues. Muscles get a little tight. He might not see any more action.
Ellis hits the free throw. Little pressure by Copain against Jalen Adams, the freshman from Roxbury, Massachusetts.
Here you take a look at that balance right there on the offensive end for Cincinnati. You know, Gary Clark certainly is a double-digit contributor, but they've got guys who can fill the void. It's the defensive end where he is Defensive Player of the Year that Cincinnati might miss Gary Clark most.
Absolutely. To replace him, Shaq Thomas on the court for the first time for Cincinnati. Hamilton backs up with the shot clock running down, throws up an air ball.
You know, Shaq Thomas, a veteran, 5th-year senior out there replacing Gary Clark, you know, should be able to give the minutes and the type of effort necessary.
Ellis called for trying to get position inside. One on Ellis, and he'll sit.
Just backing his man down. And that, more so than any point in time, is called a foul right now because of the desire to cut down on the physical play.
Kevin Ollie will bring in his shot blocker, Amita Brima, for the first time. And Corianti DeBerry is on the court for Cincinnati. He wears number 22. Height against power. And Brima and DeBerry really going at each other.
Exactly.
Man. Turnover. Cobb's going to wait for help.
Well, there's a lot of bumping and grinding going on, and the officials, their hands are going to be full right now to maintain control of this basketball game, yet still allow them to play. And you take a look right here, the battle. DeBerry was in the game because of his physical play, his size. And he's a better matchup for Brima than is Ellis. Octavius Ellis, a little more finesse.
Fouls on Brima, his first. DeBerry kicks it to Cobb, their best three-point shooter. Farad Cobb, almost 40% on the year.
6th in the conference in three-pointers made at 2.3, and 9th in percentage, 39.5. Hasn't really shot the ball well over the last 4 games, just averaging 5 points 3 of 15 from beyond the arc, but it's a whole new season right now.
And it's a guy who can get extremely hot. Hamilton with a drive. And DeBerry says, not today. Shot clock running down. They didn't get the shot off. Coriani DeBerry waiting in the lane. Get it out of here.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods, proud to employ and support hundreds of Team USA contenders, and the Lexus Command Performance Sales Event. Now through March 31st, see your Lexus dealer.
We're in Orlando, where Cincinnati with the early 2-point lead over UConn, the 4 and 5 seeds here in the American Championship quarterfinal. Let's take you back to January 28th, Cincinnati and UConn. 12 seconds left on the clock. And Gary Clark made the jumper and was fouled. His three-point play put Cincinnati on top by 1. Jalen Adams, last-second desperation three did not go, and Cincinnati wins another slugfest, 58-57. 7th in the country in points allowed. Very balanced scoring. Joe Lunardi right now has them as a 9 seed, and they swept the season series from UConn. And Mick Cronin and his counterpart Kevin Ollie both believe in pressure defense, man-to-man, tough, get in your face. And it's fun to watch when these guys hook up.
Yeah, and what that defense does, you take a look at that pass inside. First of all, let me go to Coriani DeBerry. Last game of the season against SMU, he got a start in senior day, 10.7 rebounds and a block in 17 minutes. So he's come out here playing with extreme confidence. But when you talk about Cincinnati, all 9 of their losses are by an average of a little less than 5 points. That's what defense does for you.
Yes, sir.
It keeps you in most games.
It travels. Copain on the turnover. 2-on-1 break. Copain with the left hand draws the foul from Omar Calhoun.
We're going to take a look at DeBerry. He's right here. He's going to go inside, just roll to the basket. And there he is wide open as the defense too much occupied with the guys in the corner. Take a look at the roll right there. Guys are pinched in the corner trying to cover the jump shooters, and DeBerry has the paint wide open. And as I said, playing with extraordinary confidence after that senior day start.
He started his career at Hutchinson Community College, transferred to Cincinnati, was out of shape between last year and this year, lost at least 25 pounds. Looks like far more than that. And he has become a factor. Still extremely strong, even with a weight loss.
And we've seen him run the floor, do a lot of things he couldn't have done last year.
Yeah.
I mean, I called him a Clydesdale, but he's a sleek Clydesdale. Strong but mobile.
Well, right now he doesn't look like he's dragging a wagon behind him, that's for sure. Gibbs, shot clock at 3, has to fire from long range, and it's an air ball.
And you talk about activity. What a terrific hedge by DeBerry. You keep giving him credit because he's playing so well, doing little things. Left the paint, got out there and hedged and created all sorts of problems for UConn.
Here's another thing that could be a factor with DeBerry. Some guys, usually about the last third of their senior season, realize that this is it, buddy.
Yeah.
I got to give you everything I got.
It's amazing how that light bulb comes on.
Yes. Copain guarded by Purvis. Nice crossover by Troy Copain, but he couldn't convert. Guess who? Somebody left Coriani DeBerry off the all-conference team the way he's playing right now.
And Kevin Ollie incensed that his guys haven't blocked off the glass. He's given everybody an earful.
Cincinnati 11-4 over UConn on a 9-0 run, keyed by 6'9", 265-pound senior Coriani DeBerry, who stays on the court. I don't know if you'd ask him to come off now under any circumstance.
He's playing with extreme confidence, and that's what you want in a game like this. A guy who knows he belongs and plays like it.
Almost half of UConn's shots have come with less than 5 seconds left on the shot clock. They have been that good defensively. Brima is really cleared out of the lane. DeBerry got hit in the eye.
But he did the clearing out. And
yes, he did.
That was terrific defense by Copain against Daniel Hamilton. Hamilton could not turn the corner, was forced to take a contested shot.
Clark's back in the ball game. DeBerry moving in on Brima. Brima did a nice job defensively that time. Almost got road graded anyway. And Purvis throws it away on a pass to Calhoun.
UConn needs to settle down a little bit. You know, they've got some guys out there that need to touch the ball. It seems like they're so anxious, recognizing that this might be against a Cincinnati team that's already in the tournament. This might be an elimination game for them, and they're playing with angst. They've got to be able to relax. This is a team that's got a lot of talent out there that usually play together, and once they settle down, you know, I think this is going to be a more competitive basketball game. But first, they got to find somebody who can take control and have them relax.
UConn has gone nearly 5 minutes without a bucket. Johnson pump fakes a pass, missed the three.
You can't just come on the floor right away, get one touch and take a shot. You got to kind of blend in a little bit.
Try to go low to Miller against a double team, and excellent defense again. Miller had the one-man beat. I think he was surprised there was another behind him.
Yeah, this scrambling Cincinnati defense has really kind of confused UConn.
Johnson cutting to the bucket, missed the shot. Ellis tried to get the tip. Purvis on the run. This is where he excels.
And if you're the Huskies, that's more like it. That's your game. Transition basketball.
Cobb. Go low to Ellis. And he's fouled by Sean Miller. That's 2 on Sean Miller.
UConn on offense is at its best when they can kick it out and run. Look up the floor and get it to Rodney Purvis. 44 gets it done.
And Monmouth will have to sweat it out on Selection Sunday and see if they get an at-large.
St. Mary's rubbing beads, keep fingers crossed, everything they can do.
Cooney at the buzzer, no! And Syracuse will sweat it out.
You know, one of the things we haven't talked about in the bubble watch comparison, you can look at all the stats you want, whether it's record, strength of schedule, RPI, and Joe Lunardi's predictions, everyone else's predictions. How about the eye test? When you watch these guys play, I haven't seen that much of Monmouth or St. Mary's. I've seen Tulsa and UConn. I can't imagine they don't get a bid.
Yeah, well, I'll tell you, that's part of the problem the American Athletic Conference suffers, the lack of respect, because people may not have seen them enough. But, you know, you look at Monmouth, they had some big wins early in the season. Today, with Michigan beating Indiana, that helps UConn a ton because they beat Michigan earlier this year. So if we're talking about the interrelationships of destinies, you know, UConn's got a little bit of a boost right here with that Michigan win.
11-6 Cincinnati dominating with its defense, holding UConn to 6 points in 8.5 minutes. Hamilton, good spin, got in the lane, had to kick it out though. Calhoun, Ellis had it knocked out of his hands.
Well, certainly UConn, except for their transition buckets, have been relegated to taking lower percentage shots. I think Daniel Hamilton has got to recognize he penetrates and gets into that paint. If there's not a lot of help and it's just a one-on-one situation, he's got to summon up those skills, offensive skills, and start taking some shots in the paint.
Evans is checked in. almost lost it. Kevin Ollie up applauding his team's defense. Kick out to Cobb, cannot hit a second three. Here's Purvis, so fast. Whoa, then clanks one.
You just can't force those. If you don't have it, pull it back out. It comes down to this. Challenge the defense, make or miss. You don't have numbers, get it back outside and run your stuff.
When speed sends you out of control, it's no value anymore. Foul was on Jalen Adams.
And that was a silly foul by Adams at reach across. You know, those are the fouls that end up costing you down the stretch.
Jacob Evans for Cincinnati has been getting a lot more minutes lately in his last 7 games, 11.5 points a game, has more three-pointers than anybody else on the Cincinnati roster.
And Mike, it's interesting to see how Mick Cronin is managing Gary Clark's minutes. He's kind of spoon-feeding him, giving him some time to get out there, you know, maybe get some effectiveness out of him.
Hamilton leans into a three, can't hit it. No offensive rebounding by UConn, none. Good double team, but they get out of it. Copain, Grimo was right there. Offensive rebound by Ellis. And a foul. Hope you'll join us Sunday at 5 Eastern on SportsCenter. We'll have in-depth coverage of the NCAA men's field of 68. Reese, Jay Will, Jay Billis, and Seth will anchor the coverage. Analysis from Dick Vitale and Joe Lenardi. Then at 7, bracketology presented by Staples breaks down the brackets. And Ellis will go to the free throw line as Adams has picked up his second foul. UConn stuck on 6. Hamilton the lob to Brima. Nice unselfish play by Hamilton, who had his own shot from about 9 feet.
Well, that's pretty much the same as I mentioned. Once Daniel Hamilton gets in the paint, he's got to do something offensive with it that is high percentage.
Copain, Cincinnati's missed 7 in a row. That ends that streak, and Troy Copain makes it a 13-8 game.
Once again, UConn's got to feel more comfortable now in their half court. Just like that, they're starting to find some rhythm.
Hamilton got away from his defender, and Mick Cronin up barking at Ellis. DeBerry's been on the bench for a while. He was a real factor offensively and defensively. Cobb with a long 3. Offensive rebound and a fresh 30.
That was a huge offensive rebound by Evans.
Thomas got in the lane, kicks it to Copain. Ellis will be called for an offensive foul. The basket counts. That's 2 on Octavius Ellis.
So both teams now have some key guys on the bench with fouls. Take the shot right here, and whoa. That could have gone either way. As Ellis is entitled to go to his man and block him out.
And Ellis laying on the floor saying, who, me?
A little insult to injury right there.
Brima doesn't look that strong, but he is. He's very sturdy. Hamilton to Purvis, great outside shooter. Not this time. Offensive rebound, a follow rejected.
A nice job by Jacob Evans defensively. He gave up the offensive rebound, but recovered for the block.
DeBerry is back in for Cincinnati as Jacob Evans III hits the bucket. 18-10 Bearcats. Their biggest lead of the ball game as we approach the 8-minute mark in the first half. Calhoun to Purvis, wide open, didn't take it. Now he will, and make it.
Rod Cobb's got to challenge that shot. Nice 3 by Rodney Purvis, but Cobb's hands are down. And that's just not characteristic of a Mick Cronin defensive team.
Cobb wide open. If either one of these teams runs its offense to get open threes, they can make them.
Yeah, and as I mentioned, UConn now has settled down. You know, they're playing without angst and playing with a little bit of confidence offensively. Oh, DeBerry.
Boy,
Again.
Corianti DeBerry is having the game of his life.
Farad Cobb worrying about his eye right now as he might have gotten brushed, but no problems with his vision on this one. Wide open. And Farad to the three. Okay.
And then thank you so much, Jim Calhoun. Also in the studio, the former head coach of the Connecticut Huskies, obviously. Jim, we wanted to bring you in and ask you what you see from your former team right now.
That's all right. We get it. Hey, you know, UConn has settled down a bit right now. They've given up 6 points off of 4 turnovers, 5 second chance points. If you're in the huddle on that last timeout, as your team has settled down a bit, what do you tell your guys?
Coach, there always seems to be a wild card in tournament play, and right now for Cincinnati, it's Corianti DeBerry. I mean, here's a guy who spent most of his Cincinnati career as a sub, got a start today, and he's made one impact play after another.
Cincinnati foul is on 22, Corianti DeBerry. His first, team third.
Yep.
And that's what makes tournament basketball so exciting, is to see people rise above themselves. And certainly Corianti DeBerry, it's like somebody told him he was unanimous all-conference. Go out and play like it, and he has. Hamilton will go to the line.
Well, I tell you what, against the changing defense, Cincinnati went to zone that time. It was good recognition by Hamilton, and the more he handles it and the more he feels confident enough to create something for his team, you know, the better UConn's offense is. Would you agree? Yes. That's a great point, a go-through guy.
Jim, thank you so much. No nail biting during the rest of the game, all right?
All right, Coach.
Thanks, Jim. Purvis, good hesitation dribble. DeBerry was waiting for him, and coming up gimpy, Jacob Evans.
Cincinnati foul is number 1, Jacob Evans.
And that foul was on Evans, his first, and that will send Purvis to the line.
Cincinnati's got to be careful right now. At one point, they had the 8-point lead, but they come down, misfire a couple times offensively with quick shots and maybe low percentage shots. And UConn, once they get the rebound, they have the ability to come back and challenge you. And a much more balanced offense, a balanced floor by Cincinnati can help prevent that. But UConn's starting to feel that confidence again.
Evans just limped to the bench. He's replaced by the other Cincinnati Bearcat with an ankle injury, and that's Gary Clark.
Well, I tell you what, Cincinnati's trainer, outstanding trainer, Rob Williams, keeping his hands are full as you see Evans going off the floor right now. He's probably going to go get retaped.
DeBerry was calling for the ball inside against Bryma as they continue to bump each other. 6:11 to go in a half. Copain with a runner partially blocked. DeBerry with the offensive rebound.
You talk about opportunistic. That's the double-edged sword of having an outstanding shot blocker like Brima, who goes after everything. That time Brima got a piece, but he fell, and he's out of the play, and DeBerry is taking full advantage.
Hamilton, nice job to get inside. Slashed down the right side of the lane, banked it home.
And that's what we said. When Daniel Hamilton starts to recognize defenses and starts to create, he can create for himself and others.
Great feed inside. Brima tried to block it, looked like he did, but a call against him, and Kevin Ollie is beside himself. Hamilton will get the foul.
Good ball fake by Clark, and from behind.
That looked good.
Gary Clark, again, Defensive Player of the Year in the American Athletic Conference. A guy who is a strong block player. 68% free throw shooter, though. And with that ankle bothering him, this is where, you know, you feel it. When you're on the move and you're in the midst of the combat,
right,
that's one thing. But when you're on the line now, you can, I guarantee you, he's feeling that throbbing right now. Having been there.
As a team, they've only hit 4 out of 8. Now make it 4 out of 9, or 5 out of 9 free throws this afternoon. You look at Cincinnati's statistics, and because they don't score that many points, the stats aren't that impressive. But you have to look twice and say what percentage of a team's point does one guy have. Purvis for 3. They left him alone. Johnson did not get there defensively. Purvis now with 12 of the 22. And the UConn fans come to their feet. Clark. Bad ankle and all.
That's what I say. That young man comes to play every night. And him not being on the first team, I think it's a mistake. You know, he is the guy for Cincinnati.
Mick Cronin said when he recruited him, one day he will be an All-American. Almost turned over by Gibbs, but they got it back. 9 to shoot. Hamilton, tough shot. Brima, loose ball rebound, and a whistle. And the foul's going to be on DeBerry. That'll be 2 on the big man.
We're going to take a look right here at Rodney Purvis. Look how wide open he is. No defender close to him. As Kevin Johnson, usually the best defender, was protecting the paint against the drive. And Rodney Purvis, who was like lurking out there in the wing, just circled in and got a cute jump shot right there.
DeBerry went for the steal, didn't get it. Purvis ends up with a 3. Long rebound to Copain. Now Cobb. He's hit 2 threes.
Don't let him get hot.
No.
He's streaky, but when he's on, he's dangerous.
Streaky good is awesome for a 3-point shooter. Boy, Cobb right there thought he had a steal. Instead, he's going to pick up a foul, his first, and we've got a timeout.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by AT&T, mobilizing your world.
Edna, thank you. We look forward to it. Be watching all those highlights with you. 3:40 to go here. Winner of this game gets the first seed Temple in the semifinals tomorrow. Cincinnati with 7 second chance points in this game, and they're shooting 50% from three-point range. Purvis has had the big game for UConn, has a dozen.
And Cincinnati also able to convert for UConn turnovers into 6 points. So they've been efficient in converting UConn's mistakes as well as their lapses on the glass.
Hamilton, poor inbounds pass picked by Cobb.
Nice
blocked, followed by Copain. Nice job by Adams to get back and get a piece of that defensively, but it didn't matter.
Yeah, and give Copain a lot of credit. Lee taking nothing for granted.
Biggest lead of the game right now, 33-22. Gibbs can't hit it from out of the corner. Mick Cronin up, directing traffic. Copain relays it to the team. Cobb.
That's a little too quick. Not in his rhythm.
Hamilton to Gibbs, wide open for three. No. Look at Copain. Hustles it down to Cobb, same spot. Missed it twice in a row. DeBerry hustles a rebound.
And you called it right, Mike. That was hustle by the big fella. Moving his feet. And good decision by Copain. Let's reset.
Oh, great pass to Clark. Went with the left hand. Copain a bullet on target. (9-0) run in the biggest lead of the game for Cincinnati at 35-22. Gibbs pull up, got it. Big three-pointer for Sterling Gibbs, who shoots almost 39% from long range.
He finally got something to fall. He's 1 of 5 from the field right now. And 1 of 4 from beyond the arc. But it couldn't have come at a better time for UConn. Look at the double team on Gary Clark. UConn cannot afford him to go one-on-one on anyone. Got to get it out of his hands.
Copain down the lane, gets it out to Johnson, and Johnson is fouled by Purvis. That'll be 2 on Rodney Purvis.
Talk about getting it out of his hands. This is Gary Clark. Watch him go down low and look at the lock. That's the stuff that all Americans are made of, that fundamentally sound play down on the block. And here, Sterling Gibbs finally gets one to drop. You know, he's had some good open opportunities, and maybe, just maybe for UConn, it starts to flow. Sterling Gibbs very valuable offensively, just hasn't really found the range.
Gary Clark will limp to the Cincinnati bench, favoring that left ankle. Johnson, a homegrown product from Cincinnati, averages a little over 6 points a game.
And again, I just marvel at the way Mick Cronin is spoon-feeding Gary Clark his minutes, not letting him get out there and really extend himself. He's 3 of 4 from the field, 7 points, 2 rebounds. For a guy that's got a sorely sprained ankle, that's pretty good production.
Adams, nice drive, and floats it off the glass.
Well, Jalen Adams, we've said it in many games that we've done with UConn. That's the point guard of the future for UConn. You know, not only is he able to make plays and play defense, but he can put the ball in the basket.
36-27. This is a really important last minute for these guys. DeBerry missed, a little out of control as he turned toward the bucket.
Which is
Adams
always
hustles it down.
Which is always a reminder. Corianton DeBerry's a hustler, and he's raw. And there are going to be times when he doesn't look good at all.
Hamilton off balance. Hustled and got it back. He knew where that missed shot was going.
Yeah, that was a 50-50 ball.
Didn't hit the rim though, Len. Shot clock down to 3, and they throw it away in desperation, trying to get it across court.
Cincinnati already 8 points off of those 6 UConn turnovers with an opportunity for more.
Copain holding for the last shot.
You gotta go, man.
Pull up. Thomas, offensive rebound, no. Cincinnati has gotten it done inside, Len Elmore.
Certainly has. They've been able to capitalize on the offensive glass. And that's effort points.
So at the half, Cincinnati in what may be an elimination game for one or even both teams, 36-27 over UConn. Now we send it to Adnan Burke, LaFonso Ellis, Jim Calhoun on the Volkswagen halftime report. You're watching ESPN's Champ Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. This is the American Championship on ESPN. We welcome you back to beautiful Orlando, Florida, where Cincinnati leads UConn at the half, 36-27. Welcome back, everybody. Mike Patrick, Len Elmore. It's great to have you with us again for the American Conference Tournament with Defensive Player of the Year in the conference, Gary Clark, not his normal self with a badly sprained ankle. We had our Axe step-up moment of the game from the surprise star of the game.
Well, Coriante DeBerry, a senior, you know, sometimes the light bulb comes on. This is it for you. And DeBerry has not disappointed. Coming off a 10.7 rebound senior day game, he's come into this game really full of vim and vinegar. He's got 6 points, 4 rebounds. He's got 2 blocks and has done a terrific job on both ends of the floor. And we thought it was going to be a defensive battle, and right now the score reflects who's winning that battle, as Cincinnati is really taking control with blocks, steals, and overall just hustle. But here,
great play coming out of the second half with the lob from Hamilton to Sean Miller.
And that caught Cincinnati by surprise. Yes. And maybe that's a good start. Kevin Ollie with a nice play out of the half to kind of get his team started.
And Copain's pass a little off target. Cobb couldn't control it and turns it over. Opening minutes of this half, you would think, very important for UConn, trying to get their confidence back. Had to be a little shaken in the first half by this defense. Miller goes to the floor. It's a tie-up, and that's a turnover. It goes to Cincinnati.
Boy, that's a tough break for UConn. After the alley-oop, they had the floor spread. They got it to a Sean Miller, who's pretty good on the bounce. And he loses it.
Miller, a key player in their offense, 12.5 points a game. Purvis waits on Copain. Clark starting the second half, moving pretty well right now. It's unusual with an ankle injury right after the half, after you've sat for 20 minutes.
Although I suspect when they were in the locker room, they did an awful lot to warm him up. Shot clock down to 3.
Evans down to 1. He's got a fire from the corner.
Nice.
Offensive rebound, Ellis.
And once again, UConn fails to block out. They were victimized in the first half. The second chance opportunities, 11-0. And here's a chance for Cincinnati to get even more off a second chance opportunity. And Kevin Ollie just incredulous that his team is not putting a body on the glass.
If you are not going to be tough, you cannot beat Cincinnati. Copain. Because Cincinnati is tough, and they're going to be tough every minute of this game.
That's 13 points now off of 9 offensive rebounds to 0 points, second chance points for UConn.
Good shot by Sterling Gibbs. The grad student out of Scotch Plains, New Jersey, with a big bucket. Makes it 38-32.
Yeah, Gibbs finding his range. He's 2 of 6 on the field, 2 of 5 from beyond the arc.
Clark to Cobb, contact, offensive foul on Cobb. And Miller hit the deck hard.
his second team first of the second half.
I'll take a look at this for a second. Secondary defender, yep, he slides over and gets there. Good defensive position.
Big possession here, Cincinnati within 6. Full court pressure from the Bearcats. Gibbs got it. 2 straight threes.
He's the hot hand. They passed up Sean Miller wide open at the top of the key to get it to Gibbs. And Gibbs makes it pay. And look at this Husky team coming out here to congratulate him.
Mick Cronin says, I've seen enough. I want a timeout.
Again, Miller wide open at the top. They pass him up to give it to a Sterling Gibbs. And man, does he drop it down.
Here's the bracket for the American Championship here in Orlando. Temple is already through. They knocked off South Florida 79-62. They'll meet the winner of the Cincinnati UConn game tomorrow afternoon at 3 o'clock on ESPN2. The night session here has Houston against the 10th seed Tulane, who had to play in yesterday. Tulsa and Memphis tonight, cap at around 9 o'clock. Gibbs in the second half, 2 threes in 32 seconds to close the gap in this ball game. Gibbs shot almost 39% during the regular season from long range. He's the graduate transfer from Seton Hall.
And led by Sterling Gibbs, UConn has come out here in the second half playing with a sense of urgency. It wasn't so sure in the first half whether they realized the import of this game. But they're locked in now.
Goes away from the ball. Gibbs called with a hold, I believe, or is it going to be on Miller? It's on Sean Miller, and that's 3 on Miller.
Take a look at Miller trying to play physical inside with Ellis, using hips and shoulders. I'm surprised that was called because there was nothing untoward in my mind for that.
Payne, nice drive. There's a foul. And the UConn players really viscerally reacting to these calls, and they're in the danger zone by doing that.
And this is where mentally you've got to calm your players down. When they start complaining about every call, even though they're making a comeback, they're starting to defocus. And when you lose your focus, you're going to lose your edge. And UConn finally got it back. You don't want to start losing it because of a couple of official calls. You got to fight through it, play through it.
Well, you can complain, but it's the way you complain. If you jump up in the air and run down the court, the officials aren't going to take too kindly to it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, though. But it's defocused when you do that. Sure,
that's
you
true,
can say, I didn't do that, Mr. Official, or come on, ref. But beyond that, you know, when you're putting that emotional emphasis on it, you've lost your focus. And that's a good move by Kevin Ollie to get Miller out of there.
Payne already is the season's average with 12.
Miller with 3 fouls. You didn't want him to pick up.
Hamilton for 3, no. Long rebound that goes to Cobb.
Again, getting the ball out of Gary Clark's hands as you see Reimer coming over the double team and cause the turnover. Whoa.
There's the steal, then a bad pass, and it goes right back to Cincinnati. Payne got it. Troy Payne, not known as a long-range shooter, but drilled that one. He's 2 for 2 from long range. 15 big points for Troy Payne.
Yeah, just a 31% three-point shooter, but you throw those numbers out the window. Troy Payne is a big game player.
And how about that block by Ellis on the perimeter? Goes out after Gibbs, saying, I know you've hit 2 in a row. You're not going to get this one. Hamilton will try a 3. too strong, and good hustle by Cobb into the corner for the loose ball.
And I'm with Kevin Ollie, who's trying to figure out why you taking that shot.
Thomas was rejected. The follow won't go either. Here's Gibbs on the run. Oh, good pass. Tough catch by Brima. Brima gets the feed inside, a little reverse.
That's
There's
good
been
ball
an Amita
movement.
Brima offensive sighting.
Good ball movement, but you give Brima credit on the run. He didn't try to do too much with it.
That was a great catch.
Made the catch and got it back outside.
Troy Copain has been the offense in the second half. Clark, nice catch. Cobb. Thomas tries to tip follow. Gibbs trying to push it. Hamilton on the run out.
Nice block.
Copain is there. Not only has he scored all the points, got a blocked shot. 15-13 to go in an intense game. Hamilton with 9 to shoot. Behind the back, into the lane. What a pass! What a play by Hamilton! Are you kidding?
Brings us back to that first half when we talked about Daniel Hamilton settling down, getting into the paint, and then creating for others instead of settling. And that's why he's got that capability. He's just got to believe it. Again, look at him get in the paint, draw the defenders, and his teammates will play with him because he keeps their hands full.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
You're watching the American Championship on ESPN from Orlando. And Cincinnati has suffered another injury. It's a 4-point game. Cincinnati dominating early. This is Shaq Thomas, number 24. Oh, comes down hard. Now, they were working on his quad during the timeout. He looked like he pulled a hamstring in the first half, but now he's been rubbing his left quad.
That's on his groin, actually. Put the ice on the inside of his thigh on his groin. It looked like might have tweaked it. And you take a look. How often does that happen? Identical from the field. And by the way,
foot jumper, offensive rebound off the Ellis miss. Johnson will try a three. It's an air ball.
both teams also have 5 3-point field goals. UConn 5 of 16. Cincinnati 5 of 13. So the difference has been from the free throw line. UConn 4 of 4. Cincinnati 8 of 13.
UConn will make virtually everything it gets from the line. They just haven't been able to get there enough.
Well, that's the key. Cincinnati continues to play as they normally do. 5th in the nation with the fewest fouls per game.
They play great defense with their feet. They don't use your hands that much. 4 to shoot. Bingo. Jalen Adams, a huge three. They've cut the lead to 1. Heck of a comeback by UConn.
That's only the 8th three-pointer for Jalen Adams. 19% from beyond the arc on the season.
UConn with a chance to take the lead off the miss by Evans. Adams, scoop. Oh, that would have brought the house down.
Take a look right here. Off the scramble. Little step back. Gets the defender on his heels. And for a 19% three-point shooter, Adams set that one like he does it every day.
He had hit 7 out of 36, just 7 coming into this game. And you're right, that's 19%. 13-25 and counting. Hamilton. Oh, got away with a push-off. Used that free left arm.
Yeah. There's no way you can call out a flop when a guy throws his arm out there. Wow.
First lead since they were up 4-3. How does Cincinnati respond to that? Good bounce pass inside and the jam. The big guy comes through again. Corianti DeBerry having a whale of a day.
You wanted to know how they would respond, huh?
Well, that's how. Kick out to Hamilton for three. Wide open and he drains it. He is not a 19% shooter. 33% on the year.
No, he's not. And Daniel Hamilton now finding the confidence offensively, particularly down the stretch here during the season and right here in the postseason.
This is a 12-2 UConn run. Nobody came out to guard him. He'll make 75% of those.
Especially from that spot. That's the highest percentage spot for a three. And here on the penetration, Corianti DeBerry goes up strong. This is the game we thought it would be.
Yep, sure is. Copain double teamed at the baseline. Cobb, good ball fake to get into the lane, but a point blank pass to Ellis. No way he can make that catch.
Good idea, but you got to have a little touch on the pass.
Facey, who was in briefly, comes out, and Sean Miller comes back in. Both teams realizing the importance of this game. That's one of the reasons the intensity has been as high as it has. Miller backing in, wheels into the lane, got the roll. Nice move by Sean Miller, who came in as a graduate transfer from Cornell.
Good patience down there on the low block. Didn't rush, didn't force.
DeBerry backing in, double team. Evans gets it low. Ellis blocked by Brima. The big man got over there and celebrates.
I think right now Cincinnati, when they're reversing the ball, they got to run high-low with Brima's man. Bring him up to the top. That's Gary Clark, who's capable of knocking down the shot from there, but also takes away Brima's help side.
Miller tries to scoop, and that's going to be a foul. That'll send Miller to the line where he's a 73% free throw shooter.
Whenever you get the ball down low, you got to be aware of what a big fella is. And you see Amita Brima making his presence felt.
(49-45). UConn has come from behind to take the lead over Cincinnati here in the second quarterfinal game of the day.
And they've really been doing it with a sense of purpose. It all began with opening the half with an alley-oop and then some outstanding penetration and dish, really challenging the Cincinnati defense. And then some plays where you just get one-on-one opportunities, open looks, shooting it with confidence. UConn 9 of 14 during that run, and you take a look, Cincinnati in the second half only 3 of 11. As they haven't really had the same purpose in attacking the offensive rim as UConn has in this second half.
I think the scouting report would tell you that UConn is a better offensive team. Cincinnati is a better defensive team.
And I'll tell you,
that's what it's shown right now.
The other difference is Amita Brima with that one block, and he has changed some shots as well with his presence. Cincinnati's got to find a way right now to pull Brima out from underneath that basket.
Miller, a top 10 free throw shooter in the AAC, hits both. He'll come out, and Kenton Facey checks back in. This is a 16-2 run against one of the best defensive teams in the country.
I tell you what, the loss of Gary Clark right here, not being in the ball game, kind of hurts the offense a little bit because Brima's allowed to stay down low. DeBerry is not going to be able to knock down any shots down low. He's going to have to do something from the low block.
Biggest lead of the ball game for the Huskies. DeBerry
That's what you do.
got it under the hand of Brima.
You got to challenge him and make Brima work. You can't allow Brima to be idle and just go block shots willy-nilly, and that's what DeBerry did. Now with Gary Clark in the game, he can go to the high post, draw Brima, or if he plays Ellis, to draw Brima out high, and then that frees up big guys down low.
Coriani DeBerry with 10. It's a huge game for him. The season's high is 12. Purvis down the lane. DeBerry may have changed his shot. Tipped out to Cobb. They get an opportunity for three. The foul on Hamilton. He goes out and fouls Evans, the three-point shooter.
Rodney Purvis, we talk about attacking with a purpose, and it just almost a fingernail by
exactly.
DeBerry.
Enough to throw it off.
That's right. And then Daniel Hamilton committing the cardinal sin.
And Evans is a brilliant free throw shooter. Earlier this year had a 25 straight streak, and he almost missed that. The announcer jinx in play again.
I noticed.
Fortunately, yeah,
man.
I did. I saw it roll over the rim, and I go, come on. How's that possible? He'll get two more.
Yeah, here you go.
That was the after the fact jinx. Clark checks back in. They've managed his minutes pretty well. I think they leave him on the bench just to the point where his ankle might be getting stiff again, and then they get him back in. Evans makes 2 out of 3.
Be interesting to see what the matchup is. Who's going to guard Clark and who's going to guard DeBerry? See some full court pressure by Cincinnati right now.
51-49. Glenn, you're right. This is the game we expected it to be.
You know, the pressure applied with Hamilton out of the ball game. No real point guard in the game at this moment. Adams not yet.
Miller, nice touch.
But they don't need one if they can go inside and get that kind of shot.
Hit 3 out of 4 from the floor. 8 points for Sean Miller. The lead back to 4.
Well, Brima's still on DeBerry down low.
This is Clark against Miller. Clark more powerful, but he can't score, and Brima gets the rebound. Bad pass. Cobb. Oh, what a play by Adams. Just to get a fingertip on it and save what would have been an easy bucket. .8:45 to go. Adams, 15-footer. Didn't get the roll.
DeBerry once again on the glass.
Evans for 3. No. Brima saved it to Purvis. Nice play by the 7-footer. This is Miller's favorite spot on the floor. Likes to turn back in instead. Drives this time and got the basket.
Uses quickness against DeBerry, who gave up the baseline, which is no-no the way Cincinnati plays defense.
I think DeBerry got lulled into the same thing that I did, expecting him to turn and try to back in a little bit. Miller has scored the last 8 points. Kevin Ollie knows what's on the line here today. The Cincinnati Bearcats have lost 9 games this year, 5 of them by 2 points. Butler, Iowa State, SMU, 59-57 game, at Temple in double overtime, and at Tulsa in overtime. Pretty good second half for Sean Miller, isn't it?
Yeah, he has definitely been utilized in the matchup. He's taken full advantage of it. We had to look at Troy Copain. When Troy Copain went out for a breather at 9:58, the score was 49-49. And he hasn't had but, a minute and a half, maybe almost 2 minutes of rest. And his team already went down 6-0. Mick Cronin recognizes he can't afford to give Copain too much rest, as he needs him on the floor.
He's telling him you're fine and you get to go the rest of the way too. Cobb back to Clark, and Clark's fouled on the way in. Adams thought he got a piece of the ball. Instead, he picks up his third foul. Champ Week continues tonight on ESPN. The ACC semifinals, the top 4 seeds are alive. Number 1, North Carolina. Number 4, Notre Dame at 7. Number 2, Virginia. Number 3, Miami at 9. All part of Champ Week, presented by Dick's Sporting Goods. Clark knocks home the first. He's a 68% free throw shooter, trying to cut the lead to 4.
And just as we talked about the value of Troy Copain, he goes out, his team goes down by 6 with Amita Brima on the bench right now. Expect Cincinnati to continue to attack in the paint.
And try Clark significantly limping, Len.
Yeah, I'm sure it's getting worse and worse for him as time goes on. But Cincinnati's going to have to attack in the paint, make hay while the sun shines, as Brima's still on the bench.
They have pretty much matched Brima and Corianti to Barry. So DeBerry is out, so Brima sits. Purvis for 3 out of the corner, no. Offensive rebound, Nolan. Fresh 30.
And smart play by Philip Nolan. He's not necessarily offensive minded, but gaining that possession and another 30-second opportunity is excellent for UConn.
He's in the low post right now against Clark. 10 to shoot. Play by Jalen Adams. Boy, he shows flashes of the talent that he's going to be.
I said point guard on the future. He is not yet a playmaker per se, but he can certainly break you down.
The lead back to 6.
I'm surprised right now there's no attempt to go down in the paint. There you are. There's Gary Clark getting held, actually, but he backed into him.
The foul on Clark, his first of the ball game.
But Jalen Adams just so quick, and he's got good size, upper body strength to take the bump and to be able to finish. And right there on that spin move, just barely eluded the block attempt by Octavius Ellis. But on this end, that was a huge play right there. Gary Clark was going to get good position, but he backed too far in to Sean Miller, and the official's right there to make the call.
Approaching the 6-minute mark. This is Sterling Gibbs. UConn right now playing with tremendous confidence. Miller, favorite spot on the court, missed the shot though. Every possession becomes dear. Copain open. Dumps it low to Clark, stumbles across the lane and draws a foul. That's 4. That's big on Sean Miller. Joe Lenardi says UConn is in the first 4 out along with Tulsa. So following the logic of that, if UConn loses this game, it's bye-bye.
Yeah, and Michigan just beat Indiana, and they're still in the first 4 out, which is kind of surprising as you see Ellis with the foul.
What a foul by Octavius Ellis.
But if that holds true, this is it. Wow, what a screen by Nolan.
Just had his sinuses cleared by a screen he never saw coming. Holy cow, what a collision.
I could hear the bell being rung all the way over here.
Ooh. It's still ringing. Copain trying to shake it off. Let's go back and take a look at Troy Copain getting his bell rung.
Take a look right behind him, Philip Nolan, and whoever's guarding Philip Nolan is going to get an earful.
Yeah.
Because you've got to communicate to your guard. If he's digging in and trying to pressure the ball handler, you got to communicate that the screens are coming.
And that's not a dirty play. That is a perfectly clean, smart play, great screen. But you're right, your teammate has to let you know you're going to get your clock clean. Pull-up jumper by Adams. 4-point game.
A lot of contact in there. And
No foul, but a turnover.
Wow.
Jacob Evans the third.
Here's the drive. You got to call something. And the fact that he made contact, he let go of the ball. So I'm assuming that the official said incidental, then secondary defender making contact with the guy after the ball was released. And you look at the turnovers, flipping the script.
Yes, for sure. They're even now at 8, but the big ones have occurred in the second half. Adams gives it up to Hamilton. 4 on the shot clock. Pull up 3. He turns and stares at the bench saying, how about that? And the lead is 7.
Wow.
Cincinnati does not have the firepower that UConn does. A little harder for them to come from behind.
It still comes down to the defense, though. If you can't stop them, you're not going to catch them.
Evans, 5 to shoot. Copain will have to do it himself. Into the lane. 2 defenders were there, and it's like the sea parted.
Well, Troy Copain added some upper body strength, bench pressing, added some weight, and that's where it pays off, getting into the paint and taking the bumps and still able to square up.
Copain man-to-man on Gibbs. Hamilton trying to go baseline. Adams. Hamilton with 6 to shoot. Into the lane. Draws the foul. Under 4 minutes. We'll take the break with them in a 5-point game.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is brought to you by Dick's Sporting Goods. Proud to employ and support hundreds of Team USA contenders. And Schick Extreme 3 Ultimate. Now with more glide, better comfort.
Daniel Hamilton is one of those guys who's always been described as a stat sheet stuffer. And certainly today he has been. UConn leading late, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 5 assists, only 1 turnover against the kind of pressure defense that Cincinnati played. That's a pretty good day.
And I'll tell you what, UConn has done a much better job defensively, forcing turnovers. They've now, at the half, they had no points off of 6 turnovers. I'm sorry, off of 2 Cincinnati turnovers. And here they've gotten 8 points off of 6 turnovers in this half. So they've done a much better job converting, playing more opportunistic basketball.
As a team, they're 6 out of 6 from the line. They're the 3rd best free throw shooting team in the entire country.
And this is where you got to keep them off the line. You mentioned Cincinnati doesn't have the firepower. In games like this, teams will find a way to score. You've got to be able to stop your opponent. And right now, UConn has come down every possession and been able to put points on the board.
Hamilton nails them both. The lead back to 7. Where does Cincinnati get the offense, Lynn?
Well, they'll get it from Copain. They'll get it from Gary Clark. They'll get it in the effort ways, off the offensive glass, off of a miss, and maybe occasionally a 3, but they're going to get the points. They can't stop anybody.
Evans lost it. Good double team down low, and the steal goes to Adams.
9 turnovers now. And again, critical situation, uncharacteristic of Cincinnati turning it over and beating themselves.
And the freshman Adams drove into trouble. UConn more than happy to take time off this clock. Purvis, good pass to Adams. Wide open three, can't hit it. Clark with a rebound. Good defense by UConn. Skip pass to Evans. Copain has been the leading scorer for Cincinnati. Down the lane, got the roll. 62-57.
I mean, in clutch situations, you're going to find your clutch player. They'll find points.
Copain went for the steal, knocked it away. 3-on-2. Cobb for three. Got it! Cobb is their best three-point shooter. He's the go-to guy if you need a three. A one-possession game and another turnover.
What a mistake.
Gibbs tried to dribble through a double team and almost lost it.
Well, remember I told you, it begins with the defense. You'll find a way to score.
Yep.
You play solid defense, and right there, forcing the turnover, and then your points will come. But you've got to stop the other guy. And that's what Cincinnati's been able to do, to close that 6-point UConn lead to just 2.
Mick Cronin really upset about something. UConn has called a timeout.
They really dodged one there. Gibbs exercised poor judgment in trying to dribble out against that pressure instead of pass.
That could have been another open court lay-in
that
would have tied it. I think Cronin was lobbying that the ball went off of UConn, but it didn't look like that from here. So a 7-point lead dissolves to 2 in a heartbeat. And we're down to a one-possession game. And of course, this was the most anticipated game of the entire tournament so far. What's at stake? The winner goes on to play number 1 Temple. The loser is gone. And the methodology of Joe Lunardi said UConn is already in the first 4 out. So if they lose this game, they definitely would be. But it would put pressure on Cincinnati if they lose.
And the winner of this has to face a team that swept both of them.
Yes.
During the regular season. So the slope doesn't get any less steep.
Gibbs, no. Cincinnati with a chance to tie with a 2, take a lead with a 3. Copain gets it low to Ellis. Back to Copain. Hamilton with a rebound, and he's bumped and fouled. Jacob Evans going for the rebound, commits the personal, his 3rd.
That's only the 15th foul, so no shots to UConn. They got to take it out of bounds.
And that is the value of playing defense the way Cincinnati does. They play great man-to-man defense and they don't foul.
And that's a good chance to take a shot.
They barely got it in bounds. Gibbs, that's the 6th team foul as Copain goes for the steal. And Mick Cronin just stares at his veteran point guard.
He doesn't want to do that, obviously, but you know what? It's not a bad move when you take a shot like that. Now, of course, you're on the precipice of going into the bonus.
Gibbs gets it in backcourt, guarded by Johnson.
And that's the last thing you want to do against a UConn team that shoots the free throws as well as they do.
1:13 left. UConn trying to build on a 2-point lead. Hamilton be up to hit. Instead he gives it to Miller. Back to Hamilton. 3 to shoot. Hamilton backs out. Wasn't aware of it, I don't think.
Wow.
Then tries to bank it. That is an awful possession for UConn.
Just total lack of execution. No purpose, no intent. And look at them right in front of their own bench, and they just don't have an idea of what they want to do with the ball.
Crowd's on its feet. They have really enjoyed the intensity of this ball game. Copain trying to drive on Adams into the lane. Brima was waiting for him, blocked it, but off of UConn out of bounds.
Valiant effort by Copain, but you got to be smarter than that. The big fella's in the middle. You got to find a way to draw him out, spread the floor. And in the last 2 minutes, the officials are allowed to check the monitor to see off whom the ball goes. And oh, that might be off Copain's shoulder. What a turn of events that might be.
Thought maybe it hit a UConn player's head, but I'd have to see it again.
Yeah, I thought it looked like Copain's shoulder. So it shows you the puzzle the officials have to solve.
We get to watch the replay and we can't tell.
Well, they get to watch it also, and they'll probably take as much time as they need. Off of Copain's shoulder. Oh, Brima's leg.
Brima's leg. You could see the ball change direction off of Amita Brima.
Originally, it looked like it came off of Copain's shoulder, but as we slow it down, you could see it did hit the back of Brima's leg.
This is a good officiating crew.
Yep, right there. And you know what? Great that the rule has changed. So important to get it right.
Joe DeRosa, Ray Natilli, Mark Schnurr. And these are not two teams when they play each other that it's easy to officiate. It's so intense, so tough, so physical.
We got 15 seconds on the shot clock.
And 39-3 on the game clock. UConn leads by 2. Ellis on the inbound. Back to Copain. Oh! In the lane, and he's fouled.
Good aggressive move by Troy Copain. That's what you have to do in these situations. You know the freedom of movement rules are still there. Yes, got him on the wrist. One hand on the ball, but the other hand on the wrist.
Well, the UConn crowd is up and protesting the call, but I think you're right. Now Copain at the line, a 77.8% free throw shooter. Top 10 in the conference, needs both to tie. Oh, that hit everything, didn't it? Copain may have wished that one in.
You got to love this game.
Right about at his season's average, 80% for the day, 78 for the season. This could tie it. And does. 5.5-second difference between the game clock and the shot clock. 7-0 run for Cincinnati. And we have seen UConn have trouble at the end of the game before this year. Let's take you back to January 28th against Cincinnati. 12 seconds left on the clock. Gary Clark hits a jumper inside, drew the foul, made the three-point play, which put Cincinnati up 58-57. Then a wild scramble at the end of the game. Jalen Adams, a desperation three with 1 second left. No. Cincinnati wins. We also saw it against Temple when UConn failed to hold the lead at the end.
Well, I tell you, that first, the one that we saw against Cincinnati, there was a miscommunication on that inbound play for UConn on that last possession.
As to who would have it.
Exactly. I mean, you had a Rodney Purvis who was wide open beyond the arc, and they ignored him and drove into trouble.
Against Tulsa, they lost by 9 after being up by 6. The one that really hurt was Temple. They were up by 5, or they were up by 11, and Temple ended up winning by 5. That was a total collapse by UConn in that one.
Well, right now, I would expect UConn to take a look at the matchups. If they can't get it to a Sean Miller in an isolation down on the block so close, then the ball's going to wind up in Daniel Hamilton's hands, or at least it should be. He's the playmaker. Now, we've seen Rodney Purvis inbound the ball and become the primary target once he comes back on the floor. But I think Daniel Hamilton, after Adams brings it off, has got to be the guy who makes the play.
UConn was up by 7 with 2:31 left to go in the game. Now they're tied. Do they have a big bucket in them down the stretch? Adams down the lane, forced it up. Loose ball, Cincinnati has it. Calls timeout with 7.9 seconds to go.
And you know what? Cincinnati recognized the value of Daniel Hamilton and executing on that last play, and they denied him the ball, forcing Adams to have to take it on his own. And take a look right there. Look at Hamilton. He is now wide open, but Adams never looks at him. Johnson face guarded Daniel Hamilton until Adams made the move.
And Hamilton is obviously the guy you want to have the ball as a 6'7"
got an opportunity there. But right prior to that, Kevin Johnson was face guarding Daniel Hamilton and never let him get it.
Now, every time we've talked about teams going inside, they've gone inside and had the shot blocked or forced something. What do you like for Cincinnati with 7.9 left?
Normally, I would expect them to kind of run a play to get Gary Clark on the move like they did the last time. But Gary Clark with that bad ankle, I don't know if he's reliable at this point in time.
So Copain maybe?
Yeah, but I suspect UConn is going to face guard Copain and maybe even send 2 guys to Copain to keep it out of his hands and force anybody else out on their floor to beat him.
Cobb might be the guy because he has been really tough in this ball game when he's had open opportunity.
Well, if Evans can get the ball inbounds, he might be the guy to receive. But look at the attention that Troy Copain's getting. The face guard from Purvis. You can't get it to him. Oh, he got it.
Copain trying to get by. Purvis does. Cocaine on the drive. Drima was waiting there. Cobb with a desperation 3. Ellis put it in, but after the buzzer.
Free basketball.
This is appropriate that we go to overtime in this one.
Well, we kind of expected that.
Yeah.
These teams never, ever play a game where somebody surrenders. You got to beat them.
Yeah, there's no give here, is there?
And you take a look at the drive, but Brima wide open. Nobody really there to pull Brima out of the way. You take a look at Brima in the paint. You know, once you're going up against him, it's like no hope.
This is a good job by Sean Miller, too, to make it a contested shot. So Brima, as the secondary defender, can come over and do his thing.
I'm surprised Copain didn't look for Ellis on the drive, knowing that he would pull Brima, who was, like I said, by himself, unoccupied. Once he was there, you had Ellis, who was wide open on that baseline. But you know what? We can remain entertained for another 5 minutes.
Or more, perhaps. The winner gets Temple, the #1 seed, tomorrow at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. We may be here a while before we decide who that is. Tonight, #2 Houston will play Tulane. #3 Tulsa will face Memphis. All those teams trying to play their way in. Houston not among the first 4 out. Tulsa is.
I'll tell you right now, coming into overtime, UConn's got to be very careful. We got Sean Miller with 4, 3 guys, Hamilton, Purvis, and Jalen Adams with 3. And in these 5 minutes, just about anything can happen.
Cincinnati has played 2 overtime games this year, lost them both. UConn playing OT for the first time.
Cincinnati's got 3 guys with 2, and only Evans has got 3 fouls.
Ellis fell down, and Miller had a clear path to the basket, just missed everything with it. Ellis.
Sweet.
Well, he's been invisible in this game offensively.
But that was a nice post up, utilizing that left hand. Yeah, he's only had 4 field goal attempts, 2 of 4.
How about this, Len? Cincinnati has scored the last 9 points in this game. 7 in a row to force the overtime. in the first 2 of the extra session.
And you were worried about where the points were coming from.
Hamilton off balance, got it. Hamilton's the kind of a guy in this situation who can take over.
Absolutely. So dangerous. And not only can he take over scoring, but as we mentioned before, he's their best playmaker.
Ellis wanted it again. Cobb left alone. Missed the shot. Clark offensive rebound.
And that's what Gary Clark does so well. Clutch.
Nice feed to Ellis against Bryma. No. Bryma made him alter the shot, if nothing else.
You got to get up on Hamilton even from out there because he can drain him.
Clark playing with a bad ankle. How much does overtime bother him? And Hamilton, who was wide open after the bump, couldn't hit it. I don't know about the players, but I'm winded. Copain fouled by Purvis. That'll be 4 on Purvis. So he and Miller are playing with 4 fouls. UConn in the first 4 out, along with Tulsa, Syracuse, and Michigan. Michigan even after that win today in the Big Ten tournament.
That's why it is so important. Control your own destiny. You got to come out here with a win.
Copain, who had 2 clutch free throws down the stretch in regulation, back to the line. Johnson will come in. Cobb will come out.
That's for defensive purposes. Yep. Kevin Johnson, long, quick, pretty good defender.
UConn was trying to make a substitution. Ray Natilli said, no, the shooter was already at the line. You can't come in yet. And they'll get Jalen Adams in after the free throw is made. Bryma will come out. So offensive, defensive substitutions by both coaches.
Yeah, once the free throw shooter had access, can't bring anybody in.
Fans from both teams on their feet and screaming. Cincinnati by a bucket. 2:39 to go in the first overtime.
Cincinnati, kind of a matchup.
Hamilton, nice drive. Missed the shot, draws the foul as bodies fly.
It was kind of awkward, too. Ellis kind of twisted his knee as he fell. As Evans fell on him, I guess. They both kind of collided on that.
And that's 4 fouls on Evans.
And when you're fatigued, that's dangerous.
Yes. Hamilton, the best free throw shooter in the conference, will go to the line. .87% this year. 87%. Hopefully you don't have to worry about the old jinx, do you?
It transcends jinxes.
Yes, 87% is pretty good.
But the chess match continues with the offense-defense substitutions by both coaches. Oh, there we go.
You believe that?
That's fun. That's part of this game right now.
No, it's not fun for me. It's a 1-point game.
As long as they don't name that jinx after you.
No, thank you so much for that. Cobb looked inside for Clark, decided to keep it himself as we approach 2 minutes. Copain very confident to have the ball in his hands down the stretch. Missed the shot, got it back though, missed it again. Bryma has it, Copain ties him up. The ball goes back to Cincinnati.
Well, it's a game of inches, as they say. As Amita Bryma just misses getting the rebound the first time, and here Copain again by his fingernails.
Copain at 6'4" says my ball. Cobb's back in on offense. Inbounds to Copain. Nolan is on him.
Mick Cronin on the sideline asking for some spacing right now. And look at the mismatch. Gibbs on Gary Clark.
Copain for three, tipped outside. Hamilton has it. Whacked by Evans. Evans just fouled out of the ball game. That's a freshman mistake. Last couple of fouls by Evans, very unnecessary.
Trying to be aggressive, going after it, but a little bit too late.
Johnson comes in. The freshman from Baton Rouge will sit. Been one of their leading scorers the last 7 ball games and a very good outside shooter. And now Hamilton will go back to the line. Chance to put UConn back on top. Huskies by a point, 1:45 left.
Well, let's take a look right now on the defensive end. Sean Miller's got 4 fouls. He's guarding Gary Clark. Let's see if Cincinnati will target Sean Miller.
Cobb with Adams on him. Cincinnati has missed its last 5 shots. Ellis. Fade away. No. Clark offensive rebound. Back to Ellis. No, but he's fouled.
Let's talk about Gary Clark on the offensive glass. That's 2 possessions that he's gotten his team an extra possession. Just a workhorse down low. You see right there, that was the end of the play, but Clark with the offensive rebound. Ankle, bad ankle and all. He is just battling down there.
They charge Brima with the foul. Ellis is only 1 out of 3 from the line. Huge free throws here. Look good on that one. We're tied at 67. You know, Len, we could be here for a while. I've never done a 4 overtime game. How about you?
Actually, I have.
Have you?
Regular season, though. And don't forget, NC State against Wake Forest. Way back when. Late Jim Valvano was coaching.
Misses the second. That's a big miss. 1:10 left. Tied again. Gibbs directing traffic.
1 minute remains.
Hamilton trying to get inside. Leans into the lane. Missed the shot. Got it back. Missed again. Ellis got to watch those elbows.
Well, he was protecting the ball as long as he doesn't swing them.
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Yep.
Copain taking time off the clock. 17-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Tried to get it inside, knocked away. Somehow Cincinnati got it back. 7 on the shot clock for Copain. Down the lane, nice drive, tossed it up. Copain trying to get it back. 2 seconds on the shot clock. Hit the rim, UConn ball. Shot clock is off. And Kevin Ollie says, why don't we chat about the last 12.8 seconds?
I'm still wondering why there's not a play, a screen and roll or something to bring Brima out from underneath the basket, force him to be on the move. Because once you get him out there and now you drive to the basket, he's got to chase and follow, and he's not nearly as effective a rim protector. But here, you take a look, Brima's able to just stand in that restricted area and be the rim protector that he's so efficient at doing.
After you go the well so many times with that same thought that you're going to drive on Brima, I'm with you. I wonder why something else doesn't happen. But Cincinnati now in danger of losing this ball game in overtime with 12.8 seconds left to go. And Cincinnati has lost so many close games this year against quality teams. They lost to Butler 78-76. That was on December 2nd. Late in the month, they lost to a really good Iowa State club, 81-79. Then against a tremendous SMU team in January by 2. At Temple in double overtime. And at Tulsa in overtime. So they are 0-2 in extra session.
I tell you what, though, you add them up, all 9 losses have been by an average of 4.8 points.
Joe Lunardi's latest update says UConn wins, they move into the field. Cincinnati becomes a lock with a win no matter what happens. But you get the feeling Cincinnati would not drop out if they lost. Temple, they're watching this game to see who they will take on. They have already, as Len pointed out, they have already beaten both Cincinnati and UConn in the home-and-home series during the regular season.
But as I also point out, it's so tough to beat a team 3 times, especially teams of this caliber.
They get the ball to Gibbs. Gets the screen. Gibbs, a lot of dribbling, comes up firing for 3. No. That's good if it goes. Guess what? 5 more. If you've never done a 5 overtime game, I'm for it.
We've seen it happen in the Big East.
Yeah.
Oh, this is pretty good defense. Sterling Gibbs settled for the 3. I would imagine on a play like that, you got to put it on the floor and you got to take it to the basket and challenge the defense. That was almost a bailout shot, a challenged 3.
Yeah. I still like Hamilton having possession in the last 10 seconds of regulation.
He's their best playmaker.
Exactly. And at 6'7", he is very difficult to guard on the perimeter and inside. If he goes inside, he can shoot over the bigs. But sometimes you can't get it to him.
Yeah, I mean, and you know that Cincinnati recognizes the same thing, but you got to devise a way in which you can get it to him. Let him screen, then pop. Usually the screener is the one that gets possession.
Ray Natili comes over with a wry smile. Do you get paid extra for overtime, for double overtime? Ray says no. We don't either, so let's just enjoy it. Troy Copaine's enjoying it. Big smile on his face.
Talking stuff. Look at him. Dancing to the music.
Glad to see he's got some energy left.
UConn certainly has more to play for than Cincinnati. Good block out there by Octavius Ellis. Keeps Bryma off the glass.
Sean Miller had a good look. Bad pass. Hamilton almost had the pick.
And even though Hamilton missed it, Kevin Johnson taking responsibility. My bad, my bad.
Yeah.
But if Hamilton had gone the other way and dunked it, it would have been more than just my bad.
He's breathing easy right now, is Kevin Johnson. Copain guarded by Gibbs.
And see, this is what I mean. Get him on the move right there.
A good pass inside. And that foul is on Sean Miller, and Miller goes directly to the UConn bench. He is fouled out of this ball game.
Yeah, that's very well designed play. You got Bryma out on the screen and roll. You reversed it, got it to Gary Clark, and that's all Miller could do but foul him. Otherwise, he was naked as Bryma wasn't there to protect the rim in time.
Got to give Clark credit. He's played a lot of minutes on that bad ankle. Mick Cronin said that he had sprained it severely.
And you can see the tape on that ankle, serious.
Clark now 10 of 13 from the free throw line.
But I would expect to see more of that.
Excuse me, 10 points. He's 4 out of 5.
if Cincinnati has an opportunity, if they don't have a fast break opportunity, run their half court to continue to try to pull Bryma out from the middle with a high screen and roll, and then reverse, try to get to their post guys. And UConn, you got to get the ball into Daniel Hamilton's hands. He's their best playmaker. There you go. And he gives it up.
Gives it up immediately to Adams. Hamilton outside the line, then inside. Bryma missed the bunny. Copain had his hand on it, tipped it out to Cobb.
Wow.
Bryma at point-blank range could not convert.
That's when you have to be programmed to dunk the ball. See, here's a high screen and roll. You got to get the reverse.
Clark, nice pass to Ellis.
And that's what I've been talking about all second half.
And
look,
a bad pass,
attention.
nobody paying attention. Somehow UConn got it.
That was dejection right there. Fortunately for them, they got possession because they just gave up after that score.
That could have cost them big time. Gibbs driving on Copain. Rejected by Octavius Ellis. And Kevin Ollie screaming at the officials, wanted a goaltending call.
And if Ellis had to do that one over again, he would have tried to keep it in bounds.
Looked like a good block, didn't it?
Looked like it reached its apex.
Hamilton, big bucket.
That's why you put the ball in his hands.
Hamilton has been the only Husky to get a point at all since 6:48 was left in regulation. Gotta agree with you. He should touch it every time down. What a game. 71-69. Double overtime.
UConn's gone. They kind of match up. That way you stay away from the high screen and roll and keep Bryma down low.
Ellis to the left hand, roll around Bryma.
I think Bryma's a little winded right now.
Looks like it, doesn't it?
Not moving as quickly as you would expect to the penetration.
Hamilton. Moved pretty quick that time on the lob.
And once again, Daniel Hamilton, if he doesn't touch it every time down, something's wrong, because he can get it done.
He makes plays. He's got 6 assists, 23 points. Everything you would think would go through him. Ellis looking low, trying to take it against Bryma. Couple of moves, and the big man is there for the rejection. Adams on the run. Bryma with a foul. Tied at 73.
You got to question Octavius Ellis's judgment on that one. You haven't been able to get it past him yet.
My oh my, 73, double overtime with 1:33 left.
Talk about erasing mistakes. Big fella erases his own mistakes. The missed layup, the block, and here to follow. Yes,
pretty
sir.
good job by him, Len, to run the court from end to end.
A pretty good job for him to recover from the dejection of missing. You know, they helped him out with the alley-oop, and then this block really, you know, gets his confidence back. I'll tell you what, UConn really, that moment of dejection when nobody turned, as everybody's shoulders were shrugged,
lucky.
They were very fortunate.
A pass almost at midcourt that hit Hamilton in the back. First of all, you can't throw it inbounds to somebody who's not looking, and you should be looking. Hamilton has outscored his teammates 12-4 in the last 15 minutes. He has been the offense.
Yeah, and you know, look, he's a volume scorer this year. 7 of 20 from the field, but when it's counted, he's been able to make it happen. 6 assists, 12 rebounds to go with those 23 points.
Well, we've called him a stat sheet stuffer all year long, and he certainly has been.
And if you're wondering where Rodney Purvis has been, he's got 4 fouls, so he hasn't been nearly as present as the rest of his teammates.
And Sean Miller, who averages 12.5 points a game and is a real offensive threat, is out of the ball game with 5 fouls. Temple's going to get tired of waiting.
Take a look right here. This could have been the end. Adams was falling out of bounds and had to get the ball in. Otherwise, it was a turnover. He is so fortunate that Cincinnati mishandled it themselves. They weren't even ready for it.
No, just another freshman mistake. Copain on the inbound. 22 on the shot clock. Cobb's been silent lately. Clark 35 feet away from the bucket. Now to Copain, 10 to shoot.
Copain's got to come back and get it.
Johnson lost the ball.
Copain's got to come back and get it.
Yeah.
That
was his problem a year ago.
Yes.
He would not come to the ball late. That time I think he got caught up by the defense.
I would think that by now he understands this is his team. You've got to be able to command with your presence. That means come back and get the ball when your team needs it. I don't care how often you handle it. It's your team.
Under a minute to go for Gibbs. Hamilton gives it up to Purvis. 10 on the shot clock. Hamilton can't get inside, has to back out, take a 3. No.
And I'm surprised he didn't drive hard. He's got
collision between 2 Cincinnati players. Cobb went down hard holding his hip. How many guys can they get hurt today?
Well, I'll tell you what, Daniel Hamilton, you also got to know your opponent. And maybe the word didn't get to them that Gary Clark has got a bad ankle. But if I'm Hamilton and I know he has a bad ankle, I'm putting it on the floor. He's going to have to guard me. Instead, he settles for that jump shot once again. Oh man.
Oh.
That looked like a pileup on the interstate in the fog. Boom, boom, boom.
Wow. Boy, Cobb just had, that looked like a football play, just got rolled up on. I don't know about you, I'm tired.
I'm not tired of this kind of basketball.
No, I'm just tired. 35.4 left in the second overtime.
Well,
maybe I shouldn't have mentioned that 5 overtime possibility.
Well, you take a look what's at stake according to Joe Lunardi. UConn can move into the field with a win, as right now they are in the first 4 out category, and Cincinnati with a win becomes a lock. So that doesn't mean their chances are over.
Clark limping on that left ankle, gets it in to Copain. 13-second difference between the shot clock and game clock. Copain picked up his dribble.
Now he's getting it back.
Against Gibbs, one-on-one. Copain leans into it.
Oh, my goodness.
Are you kidding?
Uh-oh, right back at you, though.
Purvis had a look at a 3, gets it to Adams under 10 seconds to go. Adams!
Oh, good shot.
Clutch. Copain with 5 seconds to go. Good if it goes.
Are you kidding again? Wow. Wow.
I'm going to go get a sandwich. I'll be back after the 3rd overtime.
And you said you're tired. Can you imagine what they're feeling?
No. What a couple of clutch shots down the stretch. Watch this.
Well, Copain on the drive.
It was great defense by Gibbs.
It was upper body strength and forced him to his left hand. And then, no hesitation. Caught the defense kind of unsettled. And Jalen Adams with that off-balance shot. And then another chance.
Adams had made a couple of freshman mistakes, really paid it back on that possession.
Didn't this happen to us last year? Something
I believe
like
it
this?
did, yes. We keep exchanging looks with Ray Natilli. We both have the same wry smile going.
Everybody's ambivalent. Yes, this is a long day, but it's almost like you don't want this game to end.
No, you don't get fun like this very often.
Yeah, Troy Copain. He's not dancing like he did last time. I think that one took a lot out of him.
Yeah, may have beaten the dance out of him. Last time UConn played 3 overtimes against Syracuse in the 2009 Big East Championship. Wasn't that the one that went 6?
Well, I will say this.
I wouldn't mind 5. I don't want 6, okay?
We talked about Copain and before the last overtime, dancing and singing. Sometimes the club closes, you got to go home.
All right, 3rd overtime. Boy, oh boy. Purvis got the bump, got the opening, then threw the pass. There was nobody home. Now, if you're Temple, you're sitting there saying, why don't you guys go 7 or 8 overtime? Because we get to play you tomorrow afternoon and you won't have anything left.
Yeah, they got their feet up. They're hydrating. Everything's working for them. Rodney Purvis very lucky he didn't get called for the offensive foul.
Yes,
He's got 4 fouls on him.
He got away with that same kind of move earlier in the ballgame. Cobb gets it out to Copain.
And how about
up to the point guard again.
How about Troy Copain's endurance?
He has been so good. That one is off Hamilton, out of bounds.
It may tell on him right now, as he's been the guy to go to every critical shot. And you wonder how much leg he has, how many legs he has. He's played 47 minutes.
Well, that's what happens. That's what gets tired. Your legs go. Your legs for a jump shooter, critical. Copain back to Ellis against Bryma. Will he go to the well again? And Bryma's there to get a piece.
Got to use a ball fake. Ellis hasn't used the ball fake yet. At least raise Bryma's center of gravity so he can't get the quick jump and then jump into it.
Gibbs. Huge, big shots. UConn fans on their feet.
Kevin Ollie's been able to manage his personnel a little bit better, get some fresh bodies out there. You know, with Evans having fouled out.
But they're just giving it to Copain at the 10-second mark, trying to get out of the way. Copain for 3.
Jeez, you cannot question that young man's heart. Wow.
Is this good or what? We approach 3 minutes to go in the 3rd overtime. Adams down the lane, off balance. Got it! Boy, these guys are reaching deep.
And coming up with something.
Football coach Dabo Swinney of Clemson said, I can give you everything, but you got to bring your own guts. And that's what these guys are doing today. Copain lost it on the way in, fouled, and Gibbs really upset. Thought he knocked it away.
Sterling Gibbs has been quiet. He had a moment during regulation when he was knocking down threes, and they've come back to him. And man, this young man right here, no matter what the outcome, you have got to tip your hat to Troy Copain. And Jalen Adams, a freshman now, coming out of his trick bag.
These are all better the 2nd and 3rd time we see them. Copain will go to the line, has a career high 28 points. What a time to save it for.
And Mick Cronin just trying to push his star guard just a little bit further.
Said, listen, we'll get a nap in about 45 minutes. Clutch. Tied at 80. This is special. Purvis. This is going to be settled on a mistake. We keep having one great plays after another.
Unfortunately, you're probably right. On a bad shot.
That may have been it. Adams forced it.
But there's still time. I mean, mistakes like that, we've seen it in the previous overtimes. Mistakes had been erased.
But that's what you can get from a freshman. A brilliant play, then the next possession, a bad one. Johnson getting a screen. Goes around Adams to the baseline. That's what I mean. Adams is there after blowing it at one end. Gets a great block at the other.
And again, when this is all over, everybody has to marvel and credit the resilience of both of these teams.
Bad pass. Copain was wide open. Purvis on the run out. Got it. That's what they do best. Boy, if they can get out and run, they can beat anybody.
Played to their strength. A defensive, actually an offensive miscue. I was going to say a good defensive play, but it was offensive miscue. And UConn capitalizes. Now it's Cincinnati on their heels.
Cobb for three.
Oh, my goodness. Clutch,
Johnson,
baby.
excuse me.
And Kevin Johnson just made up for the bad pass for getting blocked on the last one.
These are magnificent performances by these kids. Hamilton driving on Johnson. A prayer, no, but a foul.
Take a look right there. Bad pass. And then the push, just one pass. And Purvis is up there. And then Kevin Johnson getting the last one blocked. Turns the page and buries it. And that's the thing that's most striking and most admirable. These guys, they make a mistake, they've turned the page.
Yes.
Keep playing.
Best free throw shooter in the AAC. Hits the first to tie it. .104 left. You joined us late. We are in the third, count them, third overtime. We have played 54 minutes. Been one great play after another, Len, in all three of these overtimes. This is in the second overtime. Copain switching to the left hand, and then Adams goes right back into the heart of the defense. And Copain with a desperation shot at the end, just whipped.
That's what I said, man. The resilience of these guys, not only recover from mistakes, but to will themselves to give prime effort during these three overtimes, recognizing, you know, what's at stake right now, especially for UConn.
Temple waiting in the wings. UConn in a desperate situation. Joe Lunardi says they are right now among the first four out. They need to win this game to get in the tournament. Cincinnati, you would think, would have a little bit more breathing room. How much adrenaline is there in the human body that will allow you to continue at this pace?
Well, at that age, they're able to manufacture as much as they need. But in the end, if you can't get up to play for this, if you can't maximize effort, no matter how long this goes, you know, you shouldn't be playing here, because every one of these young men has probably dreamed about this moment.
Yeah.
To play with this stuff at stake and to play with this kind of heart.
There is no lack of effort being shown on either side. Or in the stands either. These fans have been into it the entire game.
And I know it may be, you know, trite to say it, but, you know, you wish there wasn't going to be a loser here.
Oh, absolutely.
When you think about it, both of these teams deserve to be winners. And if it was trite, I said it. So there.
Not trite at all. 1-point ball game. 1:04 left. And Clark limping significantly on that left ankle.
But he hasn't been involved, so he's probably had to take a lot of physical punishment down low, working the bigs. But Gary Clark is a better post player, and he's being guarded by Daniel Hamilton. I'd try to take advantage right there, pass and then get down on the low block, bring Ellis up high with a high screen.
Another huge possession here. Copain, pump fake, put it up, got the roll. Boy, has he been great.
I guess you don't need a high screen.
No, just give it to Copain and forget it.
He's taking the big fellas as well.
Kevin Ollie says, come on. Man, we've had the lead so many times and they just keep coming back.
Well, I like Copain's judgment on that play. He keeps enough distance between himself and the shot blocker that allows him to loft it over. And take a look on the drive right here. He doesn't get too deep to allow Bryma access. And he got them both off their feet. That's what I was talking about with Ellis down low with a pump fake. Get Bryma's center of gravity up high, so once you finish with the fake, he can't get that second jump to contest, and that's what Copain did.
Isn't it the case what Ellis has been doing is trying to power his way up, and Bryma's got that move covered.
Right, that's not going to work because of Bryma's length, and he's not leaving until he believes you're going to leave your feet.
Exactly.
That's why the pump fake is so important.
All right, 25 seconds on the shot clock for the Huskies. They're down by 1. There is an 11-second difference between the clocks. UConn playing without Sean Miller. He is already fouled out of this ball game. Jacob Evans, the third, is fouled out for Cincinnati. This is Hamilton. Baseline drive, had it blocked. And a foul on Clark. And Hamilton is the guy you want to go to the free throw line. 9 out of 10 for the season, 87.1% coming in.
He's had so much pressure on his shoulders, making plays, making free throws.
Oh, huge. Now all he can do is tie it, and Cincinnati will have a chance at the last shot.
And I like his teammates coming over to give him that moral support. A little dap here. Come on, baby, let's get it done.
And when you're whipped, it's hard to shoot free throws, too. 85 apiece. You wouldn't want to bet Copain will get the last shot, would you?
He's going to have a say in where the last shot is, whether he takes it or he creates for somebody else.
Sterling Gibbs is dogging him.
There's the high screen, getting Bryma out of there. Slips.
For 3 in the win. Rebound. Johnson. Johnson has hit 2 enormous threes. This one's good if it goes.
Oh, dude! Oh, my goodness!
Cow!
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding?
Now the officials will go to this replay. I thought that was in time. What a shot. These guys won't give up. This crowd has seen one stunning shot after another, and it doesn't slow down. Copain with a miss. Great offensive rebound by Ellis, and Johnson from the same spot that he made the first one.
Too much celebration by Cincinnati, though. We don't see him in the screen, but they're celebrating, and they give an opportunity.
People coming over to look at our monitor to see if it made it. It looked like 0.2 of a second when he let it go.
Oh, man, oh, man.
Just another 3.
Just another day in the life
Was I the one who asked for multiple overtimes? I believe I was.
You don't know how prescient you are.
No, I don't.
Here we go again.
I'm going to take it back now. This would force a fourth overtime if it is called good. And it looked like 2/10 when he let it go. I don't even think it was close.
But here's the deal. The emotional roller coaster. You think you've got this game won. All of a sudden, somebody snatches it from you and ties it up. It's going to be so important right now to see who can gather themselves.
Clearly out of his hand. You watch the light come on the backboard. Clearly out of his hand. It was gone by at least 6 feet when we went to triple zeros. And Adams celebrating a miracle. Oh my. Yes, it's good officially.
As I said, now it becomes an emotional game. Who's going to recover either from the disappointment or who may have over-celebrated? Take a look right here. Great offensive rebound by Ellis. Johnson knocks it down, and then Cincinnati's running back. Some of the guys are celebrating. We can't see it, but they're not up. And now they come up.
Holy cow.
Adams makes them pay.
All right, we played 45 minutes. They put 5 more on the clock.
That's all we can do is laugh, man.
This has been so good.
And this is what I'm talking about. He makes the 3, and it's only natural to celebrate. Look at these guys, but they don't step up. There's still time on the clock. Look at this. What are you guys doing?
If nothing else, they could have contested the inbound pass.
Or they would have been in Adams' face, at least
Right.
in front of him, prior to him getting a bead on the shot. And that is a lesson for any young player. You do not celebrate until the deed is done.
Cincinnati controls the tip. Welcome to the 4th overtime, ladies and gentlemen. We're tied at 88. Copain's going to be the first guy for an ice bath. Gibbs has played good defense on him, too. Copain got by the dish. Brima with the foul on the shot by Ellis.
UConn foul is on number 44.
They continue to challenge one of the country's premier shot blockers. Did they call it on Purvis? They did, and
Wow.
Purvis is gone.
That
That's
is
big.
huge. That is huge.
Means Brima has only 2. So Sean Miller and Rodney Purvis, who between them average 26 points a game, are gone. This has turned into a game of attrition.
And the loss of Rodney Purvis, the impact is on the offensive end, because he's been the guy who has run the floor in fast break situations. He is the guy who is a consummate three-point threat. And not to say they don't have offensive players out there, but when you lose one of your major weapons out there, it hurts.
Ellis barely got the first free throw to the rim. Swishes the second. Cincinnati by 1. What have we had? A couple of hundred league changes in this game? Like every possession. Only 11. 13 ties. Hamilton probably becomes the prime scorer right now, as the guy you want to have the ball. Offensive followed by Adams after the miss.
Well, they got the block. But again, this is where conditioning comes in. You know, that ball is in the air, and UConn was quicker to the ball.
Adams has made one sparkling play after another. Copain again. Into the lane, has to pick up his dribble. Cobb kicks it out to Johnson. 6 to shoot for Copain. Hamilton on him, into the lane, has it blocked, but it's a foul. Bryma made the block. But Hamilton gets the foul, and that's 4 on him.
Now watch Adams on the drive here. Misses it, but the ball's in the air, and he comes back and gets it. Ellis too slow to the ball. And again, that has a lot to do with the number of minutes that have been played.
Copain, 32 points in 52 minutes.
And again, you marvel not only at his conditioning, but also at his mental strength.
Makes them both.
Because he's had to handle the ball just about every single possession.
Yes. He's hit 11 out of 12 free throws, has a career high in points. Cincinnati has the lead again.
So UConn has been able to alternate ball handlers, run a weave out there. But for the most part on Cincinnati's offense, it's been all Troy Copain.
Hamilton trying to penetrate. Dumps it low, loose ball. Shot clock, meanwhile, is ticking down. It's a jump ball situation, a break for Connecticut. They get it back.
I thought Copain was able to call a timeout. Officials called a jump ball before the timeout was signaled. Take a look right here. Copain, he gets the ball right here. And now he's trying to call timeout. He's got possession.
They didn't give it to him.
I'm really surprised at that.
2 seconds on the shot clock, by the way. Hamilton trying to get it in. There's a foul.
Cincinnati foul is number 21,
Farad Cobb called for the personal.
I hear you, Mick.
How'd you like to be a coach and have to go through this?
I don't know if there are that many coaches who've ever had to go through this.
Gibbs will go to the line. At one point in the season, he was the best free throw shooter in the conference until Hamilton took over. He's an 84.5% free throw shooter.
And therein lies the strength of UConn. You can't put them on the line. Correct. But so many outstanding free throw shooters.
Gibbs drains both of them. UConn has the lead again. 15 out of 17 free throws for the Huskies. Clark forced it up. That thing was halfway down before it came back out.
And you see UConn with the pressure trying to take the ball out of Copain's hands. And believe it or not, even though they didn't make the shot, they gave Copain a little bit of time to rest.
Hamilton, nice spin to the lane, missed a shot. The follow was knocked away, but Facey gets the loose ball rebound. It's a fresh 30 for the Huskies. Adams calling out the play he wants. Now Hamilton, now Gibbs, and you're right. They've been able to use 3 separate guys as the primary ball handler, while Copain has done the job for Cincinnati. And Adams with another tough shot. The lead is 3. 3 seems like an enormous number in this game. 18 points for Jalen Adams.
It's a 3-point lead, but 2:05 is the way this game is going. That's an eternity. You take a look here in key moments in the second half as UConn found its touch. And then take a look at the opportunity that Cincinnati had trying to put that game away, and they couldn't. Second overtime, who else? Troy Copain handling the ball. And then Jalen Adams comes up with a huge play. And we go to 3 overtime. Kevin Johnson knocks it down, but Cincinnati celebrates 0.8 of a second too early. And that's just enough time for the Huskies to force overtime number 4.
Adams has 14 points, but in the overtimes, plural, he has 11 of his 14. Just magnificent.
And you know what? Sometimes games like this help people to grow up, help players to mature.
Well, it certainly gets them more experience. They're going with 20 extra minutes at this point. It's an entire other half. Adams now 18 points, 11 in overtime, including the 3-point miracle that kept it going.
And Temple, as we see, will play the winner of this game if it ever ends.
If the winner can get here.
And they're back at the hotel, probably watching this game, feet up, swilling Gatorade and whatever other energy drink, rehydration drink. Recovery is full.
Just take a deep breath.
But this is where you got to take playground mentality. Because I know when I played, I'm sure it hasn't changed that much. You know, we're on the playground from morning until sundown, and then when the lights came on, and we were never tired.
Tell you what, it's time to go to the teeter-totter right now. Clark blocked by Brima. What a huge block by Amita Brima. And now UConn can get some breathing room. They're up by 3.
Yeah, Gary Clark with that ankle just does not have the elevation.
Right.
I'm surprised he went to that play without drawing Brima out of the paint.
Hamilton got it in his eyes. He wants to bury this game. Drains the 3-point shot. The lead is 6. Now Cincinnati in a lot of trouble.
And Gary Clark is dragging that leg right now. He's got to come out. I'm not sure he can be effective the way he is right now.
Copain. What a shot! Wow. Copain with 37. And he's cut the lead to 2. What a gutsy performance by everybody on the court, particularly Adams and Copain. Hamilton with a runner. Got it! How many clutch shots are there in these kids?
I think there's a few more left.
Copain down the lane. Nice dish, but Ellis couldn't hold it. Fortunately for them, he got it back to Clark. Clark fouled by Brima, but he can't make the bucket. And Clark obviously in pain.
Yeah, he is being tortured by that ankle. But Troy Copain, man, I don't think there are any more words we can do to describe that valor that he's demonstrated. And Daniel Hamilton, another clutch play there. And another one there.
Clark limps to the line. He can cut the lead to 2. You shoot free throws and jump shots with your legs. And that left ankle is really restricting anything you can do. He looked great on the first one. In and out, a 3-point lead, and Brima got away with a push.
Wow.
He just cleared Kevin Johnson out of there. Adams is fouled, will go to the free throw line. He's another exceptional free throw shooter for UConn.
And you know what? I like the approach of Mick Cronin. Take a look at Brima right there. First of all, that's a foul. I'm surprised they didn't call that.
Me too.
You know, you can't block out by reaching behind and holding the guy, but that's, I guess the officials are also tired.
Adams, his first trip to the line, spins one down.
Well, I like the approach of Mick Cronin in that if you're going to extend the game, extend the game.
Right.
You know, this is a tough team to do it against because 78% free throw shooting. UConn is outstanding. And down the stretch, it's almost impossible.
You almost have to think trade 3 for 2 because they're not going to miss a free throw. Tipped in, I don't know if it was Clark or Ellis who got the fingertip on it. but it cuts the lead back to 3 with 24:9 left.
And they're going to put the pressure on UConn to have to make those free throws.
And Kevin Ollie yelling at his kids to block out. Joe Lunardi says UConn moves into the field. If they win this ball game, Cincinnati would become a lock with a win. If UConn wins, I think you get both teams in.
I'm telling you right now, the eye test, as we talked about before, has to do with competitiveness. And there's no way in the world any member of that selection committee cannot look in the eyes of these Cincinnati Bearcats and say you're not competitive.
Yeah, if you show them part of this game, all these guys have been terrific.
The objective numbers are there for Cincinnati, I believe. And this is one of those games, as I said, there are no losers despite the score going one way or another.
2-possession game right now. Some point you've got to shoot threes because they're not going to miss.
And the flip side for UConn is this is a game they absolutely needed, and they dug this one out. And if you can't win the game that you need, you don't deserve to be in the tournament.
Loose ball taken down by Adams. Hamilton is fouled with 9.8 seconds left. That may have done it. And Sean Miller on the bench celebrating. He fouled out a long time ago. Mick Cronin seeing it slipping away. 9.8 seconds left. Hamilton.
And remember, at the end of the previous overtime, I mentioned the fact that this is now an emotional game. And I think that Adams hitting that shot took Cincinnati's heart. Notwithstanding the fact that they're tired. But I think Cincinnati lost their heart.
Ellis will be called for an offensive foul for a moving screen that wiped out Sterling Gibbs. Did he move? Yeah,
yes,
he leaned
did.
into him. That's a good call.
Yes, he did.
Nobody was taking the ball out of bounds. Finally, Hamilton ran over and grabbed it. And that is it. What a game. 4 overtimes. 4 magnificent overtimes. We started this game 2 hours and 56 minutes ago. That's a football game in the Big 12.
That's a great shot right there.
Isn't it? A lot of respect. How could you not love your brothers on the other team after what they did today? Glenn, I bet you feel the same way. I'm really proud to be just part of this.
There's no question about it. I'm proud of the way these guys conducted themselves. Played with heart, with valor. And then there was no quit. Absolutely no quit whatsoever.
Jalen Adams is going to get on a headset. UConn, if they're willing to come back tomorrow after this,
oh my goodness,
will be playing Temple. Jalen Adams has joined us. Young man, wasn't that special?
Yeah, that was amazing. It was amazing.
Was that the best game you've ever been part of?
That was the best game, longest game I've ever been a part of.
You got to tell me, 0.8 of a second, they make that shot. You didn't bury your head. They inbounded the ball. What was going through your mind?
I got to get a shot up. If it goes in, it would be amazing. And if we lost, at least we went out fighting.
You know what was the most impressive thing to me? You made a couple of freshman mistakes during this game, and the next possession, you came down court and made up for it both times.
Yeah.
That was great.
That's all it is. At UConn, we talk about quick recoveries. If you mess up, do a power clap and then get back into it.
That was a recovery like that.
That was one hell of a recovery.
Hey, Jalen, guess what? Y'all got a game tomorrow.
I know.
What are you going to do now when this is over?
Get back to the hotel, eat some food, do some scouting, and then rest.
Hey, man, but you know what? You still got to enjoy it. You got to be very proud, not only of what you've done, but what your teammates have been able to do. And what do you feel for Cincinnati?
I feel bad. I feel bad, but they played a great game. It's always a tough game playing them. We lost to them twice, so we had to get one back.
If you had to play your way into the NCAA today, there's probably no better way to do it than the effort you guys gave.
Yes, the way our team played, they played amazing. They fought every possession, and we just knew our life was on the line.
Well, young fella, I was proud to be there and watch you play, so congratulations on that.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Thanks very much for your time.
Yep.
Len, I'm just out of words. It was one of the greatest games I've ever seen, one of the greatest games I've ever had the privilege of announcing.
We know how to end it, brother.
Yes, we do.
This is our last game of the season. We had a barn burner and a buzzer beater last year in this tournament. UConn was part of it, and here we go again.
I know UConn's young. You talk about, recovery, but this takes so much out of you.
Yeah, it does. But, these are young guys. They will bounce back tomorrow and be competitive. We'll see. I'll be watching at home.
Yes, sir. Coming up later tonight, the remaining quarterfinals. Number 2, Houston against Tulane. Number 3, Tulsa against Memphis. For Len Elmore, this is Mike Patrick. Thanks to a great crew. Coming up next, First Take.